Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
So Day two. So we're heading out about the same time as we did yesterday, 7:45-ish right now, just about. And actually it's Central Time today, so it's actually 8:45 where we're from.
Yes.
So yeah, so we are heading out now, and we got a short trip to the first supercharger. I didn't charge all night on this charger just because it was $3 an hour after 2 hours. So it was $1 an hour for the first 2 hours and $3 an hour. That's ridiculous for level 2 charging. Especially it was only 6 kilowatts. It wasn't even like, 11 kilowatts. It wasn't even very fast. So so anyway, yeah, so we're gonna get on the road. We got a short trip to the first charger. I think it's only like an hour, a little less than an hour to get there. Get there, top off, and then we'll be back on the road. So yeah, it's gonna be a long day ahead of us, but we had a good night's rest, good breakfast, with a little bit of a show.
That was pretty cool. Best
thing ever, an automatic pancake maker.
Yes.
It just, you wave your hand in front of it, and then it just goes, okay, pancakes, bloop, puts it on a conveyor belt, cooks it, and then throws it out onto a plate for you.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool indeed. Anyway, we are heading out now, so we'll see on the road. We'll actually take a look at our stuff real quick, so hold on just 1 second. Alright, so as you can see, this is where we currently are, and this is where we need to go. We're at 51% state of charge. It's estimating we'll be there with about 28, so plenty of charge there. And then we are going to be going up into Missouri today. We'll be getting into Kansas, and like I said on the previous video, because this is part 2 of our trip, this is Salina, Kansas, which is kind of the make or break of whether or not we continue to go through or we stop. So that's really what we got to figure out. So when we get to Salina, which has a hotel there, that's when we decide what we want to do. So that's 585 miles from here, 586 miles. So it's at that point we were decided to go from the whole thing. Now there is, from what I was researching last night, if we go back here and we, nope, I always do that. If we throw in chargers here, we will see that there is a charger in the middle. So there is a possibility that we may stop in Hays, Kansas, because it appears that there might be a hotel right there as well. I think I was looking it up on online or something. But yeah, so there is a possibility that if we don't want to do this entire stretch, we might just cut it in half and stop in Hays. But that's all to be determined at this point. So let's get on the road and get to the first supercharger. As we roll over some really obnoxious roads right now, we are preconditioning the battery. Obviously, it's pretty cold outside, or at least the battery's pretty cold. It's actually 70 degrees outside right now. We still have 35 minutes, 41 miles to the supercharger, so obviously it is a bit cool, the battery, so it's making sure that we're getting the maximum charging speeds when we get there. And I think it's actually just a version 2, so I don't know really how much is going to need to precondition to get those speeds, but we'll be there in just a little bit. Okay, we made it to Kentucky. Alrighty, so it looks like we're going to be here for a little bit. It says an estimated charge time of 45 minutes. I don't know if we're going to do that. We might actually just charge or jump a little bit, because these are going to be all like version 2s from here on out. So yeah, we got here with 28%, so not too bad. And let's go ahead and just get it plugged in, since we're going to be here for a little bit of a time anyway. Big thick cables on these version 2s. And plug. And let's see, it was preconditioning pretty much the whole time here. Well, not the whole time here, but on and off shortly after we left. So just waiting for this to do its thing. Oh, there we go. I just heard everything starting to click on. There we go. And we are ramping up. 14, yep. There we are. Alright, we're probably going to get a little over 150 maybe? No? Stopping around 140s. Alright, so we're going to be here charging up for a little bit. So I think in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our options that we have. Because maybe what we'll do is we'll just charger hop a little bit here. And see what we can do. Because maybe we make a couple different options here. I keep doing that. I keep going to the wrong place. So let's see, across the route here. Yeah, so we do have the option to jump here, which is only about 65 miles away. That is a version 3, which would be cool. Mount Vernon, Illinois, that's a version 2. This is actually, what is it, St. Louis, I think? Yeah, that's St. Louis. We can try to stop in St. Louis. I wonder where the arches are. We can maybe stop by the St. Louis arches for a little bit. So
that'd
maybe,
be kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll stop inside of St. Louis for a little bit. But yeah, we'll have to play with that and see what that looks like. But anyway, we're going to take a look at this and see what we decide, and we'll let you know. Okay, unplugging and going, because I think we're changing our plans a little bit here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to stop in Marion, because Marion is a version 3. Not that we're really going to need it at that point, because, well, we're going to be there with quite a bit, actually 47%. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to stop in St. Louis and try to see the St. Louis Arch. And I don't know if there's going to be an easy way to park, or if we're just going to need to drive by it a couple times, get some pictures of it, but we'll see that. And then we could stop at the supercharger in St. Louis and maybe see a couple sites while we're there as well. So yeah, I think that's what our plans are. We'll see how well that works out, and we'll go from there. So we're just going to take off. I think we're just going to stop at this next charger down the street. It's only like 60-something miles away. And fill up there so we could get all the way into St. Louis and go from there. If not, our only other option is to stop at a supercharger that is along the way here, and that is also just a version 2. So that kind of limits what we can do as far as speed wise. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is just stop at that version 3 real quick, top off, and then continue into St. Louis with that charge. Because I believe, how far is this? 158 miles. So yeah, we can easily do that from there to there, no problem. So yeah, because we're only 158 miles from it now. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's just get going and figure out along the way. Alright, so we are changing our plans as we thought before. So when we put in this version 3 supercharger, which was in Marion, it says we were going to get there with like 50% state of charge, which at that point doesn't make any benefit to go to a version 3. So we are going to continue on to Mount Vernon, Illinois, and we are going to stop there at that version 2 supercharger, and then we will make our way into St. Louis, which I believe what we're going to do is maybe just go through St. Louis. I don't know yet. We have to figure that out. But we're going to go to the Arch first, and then determine if we're going to stop at one of these superchargers inside of St. Louis. So that's pretty much where we're at that point. So yeah, that's what we determined. So we were actually at that last charger for a little longer than I expected, I guess, and we kind of filled up further than I anticipated us to fill up. So that's pretty much where we're at. So I guess we'll see you at the Mount Vernon, Illinois supercharger. So we'll be going up into Illinois before our next stop. So we'll see you in Illinois. So we made it to the Mount Vernon, Illinois supercharger, 27%. So it says that we can, actually it says we could get to the St. Louis Arch at 1%. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna give that a shot. We still need to get to the supercharger afterwards. So we're gonna go ahead and charge you up here, and then I think what we're gonna do is charge up, get to St. Louis, maybe see the Arch for a little bit, then stop at one of these superchargers in St. Louis, and then head out from there. Depends on how long we're going to be here for. I think this is just another version 2 again, so may not be too long depending on my patience. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get the plug-in process started here since we have no time to waste. And we're getting this starting to charge. I've noticed the version 2s take a little bit longer to do the handshake. It seems like they can use a little bit of help there. Yep, there it goes. Now it just made the handshake, and now we are charging up, and we should get probably all the way up to 150 for at least a short while. Let's see what it does here. 114, 139, 146. Yeah, it's looking like we're gonna get pretty much the whole thing. 143, 140, well, whatever. Close enough. Anyway, we're going to be here for a little bit anyway. It's just 10 minutes remaining to continue the trip, but I'm going to give ourselves probably a little bit more of a buffer, because right now it says we're going to get to the St. Louis Arch with 2%. Is that right? Am I looking at this right? Because then it says we're going to get to the supercharger with 26%. How does that make any sense? Anyway, we're just going to charge up. We need to charge up. We know that. The St. Louis Arch, let's see, how far is that away? It's 70 miles away, and then this supercharger is 73 miles away. So yeah, we just need to charge up to, you know, maybe 55%, I would say, is probably more than enough, and then we can easily shoot into St. Louis and take a look at the arch. So we're gonna go ahead and charge up, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see what we leave at. Okay, so right around like 52, 53%, it said we have enough to continue our trip. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We are gonna head into the St. Louis Arch area and see what we can find over there. Never been anywhere around this part of the country before, so this is all new to me. So yeah, we're gonna cut right through St. Louis and see what that's all about. And then it says we'll be there with 37%, which is fine, because then we just got to go over to that supercharger, or we might even be able to get out of St. Louis to get to another supercharger. We'll see when we get there. Anyway, here we are. Here we go. You know, I keep realizing that I forgot to show everybody the efficiencies on the last couple runs here, but actually, yeah, we had pretty decent efficiency. I blew it out now, but as you can see, the current drive was 280 watt-hours per mile, 129 miles. We are 858 miles into this trip, which that means that we basically just hit the halfway mark to Colorado. That's basically right at the halfway mark. So we are just literally halfway to Colorado, or where we're going in Colorado, and it's 11:20 in the morning where we currently are. So we got a big part of the day ahead of us yet. We're gonna go see some more sites and then hit a couple more superchargers, and then once we get to that place in Kansas there, what was it again? Salina, I think it was. Once we get to that place, that's when we'll determine what our plans for the rest of the night will be. Anyway, let's get there. It's a pretty cool little contraption here, right next to where the superchargers are. Pretty neat. To St. Louis, so now we're going to go out and take a look at some of the sights around town and see what it's all about. Alright, well, we just took a stroll around St. Louis, got to see the St. Louis Arch. Really kind of cool, different. Saw the museum underneath. Yeah, really neat, different from what we're normally used to. So that was kind of a cool change. So spent a couple hours here, so now we're going to go. We got to go pay for our parking and head on out. And we're going to hit a couple more superchargers for today. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, so we still got a couple more hours ahead of us at least. And then yeah, we'll see where we end up tonight.
I think so. We'll
update everybody once we get to Salida.
Salida.
Not Saluda. I think Saluda's in a different state.
Salida.
Salida. All right, we'll see you around. St. Charles, Missouri, pretty packed supercharger here, but there's a sign that says something about there more chargers somewhere else. We just got out of, what was it called again? St. Louis. St. Louis, Missouri. So now we're gonna go ahead and plug in. We got to get ourselves topped off because we have a little bit of a trip to Concordia, Missouri there. So let's go ahead and plug in and see what we get. Yeah, according to this now, it says there's about roughly a 10-minute wait time because I just took the last stall, 150 kilowatt max, which means this is a version 2, and we might be sharing with the people next to us. So unfortunately, wow, it says 1 hour and 10 minutes remaining to continue the trip. Let's see if there's another supercharger around this area, because it did say that there was supposed to be another supercharger, but I'm not seeing one. Let's get north up here. Yeah, I mean, there's these over here that are in the middle of St. Louis, but I don't see... There's no other superchargers here. I don't know what they're referring to. There's some over here in Columbia, Missouri, but that is 93 miles away, which we will not make. So yeah, I guess we'll just wait. That's all we can do. And yeah, we're sharing 73 minutes or 73 kilowatts, 35 minutes remaining at this point. So we're just gonna make it to the next charger, which I believe is let's see, it's saying Concordia, Missouri. So that's this one here, and that's a version 3. That's good. All right, well, looks like the people next to us are leaving, which means we might get the full... Nope, we're sharing with the people to our left. They're still plugged in. Oh well. Let's go ahead and walk around for a little bit. Okay, so we ran back to the car because we wanted to check something. Because we thought maybe we could charger hop from where we are to the next charger a little bit quicker, but Columbia is the next charger, which is 100 miles away. So I think we're gonna be stuck trying to get to this one either way. Yeah. So, that being said, it says we need about 10% more before we can get there. So I think we're going to, now these people just left and I think they were on their own stall. I'm gonna move over a stall and see if I can get some full speeds here. Alright, so the reason I moved over is because there's a 1A, a 1B, a 2A, a 2B, which is what we were just at, and then this is 3A, but there's no 3B here. So there's only 5 stalls. So let's see if we go above. Yeah, there we go. All right, so my thought was correct. So now we are pulling over 100 kilowatts now, and we shall be pretty much full and ready to go soon. It says 15 minutes. I think we could cut that a little bit short. So if we look at this charger now, actually, wait a minute, let's just do this. Columbia, Missouri. Yep, it says, well, now it says it get there with 15%, 16%. So, kind of weird that it's all of a sudden it went from -2% or whatever to 16%. So, yeah, so what do we got? We got about 54% battery, 169 miles of range. Yeah, we got plenty to get there. I don't see why we couldn't make it. 96 miles. It just changed, that's why, because it went to the version 2 now instead of the version 3 in Columbia. Let's change that to the version 3. Charging version 3. Here we go. Now we're recalculating. Yeah, and it still thinks we're going to get there with 16%. I say we just go. I say we just do it. We got plenty of range. Let's go for it. Alright, well, just a quick update. We got stuck on a lot of traffic on, was it I-70 westbound. I mean, bumper to bumper, just non-stop traffic there. So what we decided to do is get off around Wentzville, and we're now just on this side road, just kind of cutting through the town here, which seems to be working better. than sitting in that traffic. So yeah, so now we're just kind of cruising along with this. A couple stoplights here and there, but it is what it is. But we'll see you when we get back on the highway, I suppose. Okay, well.
500 feet, turn right to take the Interstate 70 West, US 40 West route toward Columbia.
70 West. All right, so this is our moment of truth right here to see that if what I did was worth it. Well, it's definitely looking a lot better. But did we get on 70 West or did we get on a side road? We're just on a side road. Huh, alright. Well, we'll just stay here. We're going in the right direction, so. Well, we're back on 70, no traffic, so good. So now we can start cruising. We can get to Columbia, Missouri, get our supercharger going there, and then yeah, we'll see if we can make up some of this time we lost now. So it's already 4:30, so we'll see what we can do. Okay, well, we just hit 1,000 miles into this trip, so it is a total of about 1,700 minus what we've done, you know, miscellaneously, to get to where we need to go, Colorado Springs. So we have about 700 more miles ahead of us. I do not want to do more than like 500 tomorrow. So I'm thinking we got to do at least another 200 tonight, and see where that gets us. I was hoping to be in Salina. We kept calling it Salida before. It's Salina. I kept getting Saluda and Salina screwed up. So we wanted to get into Salina, Kansas tonight at the minimum, and I don't know if we're going to make it now. We're a little bit behind. So
unless we pull a night one and we drive.
We might have to do that.
In the night.
We might have to drive a little bit at night. So we'll just see how things go. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to hit the next supercharger in about an hour, which puts us around 5:30-ish, a little after. And then maybe just grab something to eat while we're waiting for the car to charge, and then just start booking it as much as we can for the next 3 hours or so. And then we'll kind of go from there and figure out what we want to do. So that's where we're at. So yeah, so we'll keep you up to date as we make some progress. Finally made it to Columbia, Missouri, 5:37 in the afternoon. We are trying to go as fast as we can here, about 106 miles since the last charge, 262 watt-hour per mile. At least our efficiency was good. We need to get this plugged in and charged up so we can get going here, because we are, well, we need to make up some time. So let's get this plugged in. See what our numbers look like, and then we're gonna probably go grab something to eat at the Hy-Vee over here. So first time I've ever been to a Hy-Vee. So yeah, we'll go see what they got for dinner, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So it looks like we're ramping up real quick. Battery was preconditioning. There we are, 251. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. Even at 22% state of charge, we're still getting over 250 kilowatts. So our next stop is the Topeka, Kansas Service Center. Is that really where it wants us to go? Interesting. So yeah, so we need to go there next. And yeah, so let's see what else is in that area though. To see if maybe there is something else we can... Yeah, I don't know why it wants us to stop at the service area. Why don't we just stop somewhere else? Well, what is this, 260 miles? That's a little too far. Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe we could stop at this 150 or something, because I don't know if I feel like going to the service center, honestly. But maybe we'll stop there first just to see. In worst case, we can always just go down the road. So let's go get something to eat, and then we'll come back and revisit this option. Okay, it's looking like it wants us to do a bit of a deep charge here. It says we got 9 minutes left for the trip for 73%. Or we're at 73%. So it really wants us to charge deep to get to Topeka at 4% arrival at the moment. But yeah, I don't know why it wants us to charge so deep. I would rather just stop one more time, but yeah, let's maybe look at some other options here. Alright, I think after looking at this, I think we are just going to go ahead and do as it says. So right now it says we're going to get there with 5%. I think we're going to give this just a few more minutes, give ourselves a little bit more of a buffer. It's already 6 o'clock, so the sun's going to be going down. The day's going to be getting a little bit cooler. So our HVAC should not be taking up too much energy to cool down the car at this point. So our goal is to get from Topeka and hopefully to Salina, though it's telling us that it's going to be 11 o'clock at night by the time we do that. So we really have to think about this. But yeah, we're going to be leaving shortly, get to Topeka, and we'll figure out the rest from there. Okay, so we went ahead and left the supercharger just a couple minutes ago, and we left a little early. It said it wanted us to stay there for like another 6 minutes or something, but it was saying that we were going to arrive at the supercharger in Topeka with like 9%, and that's fine. That's a good buffer, and our efficiencies have actually been really good. So if anything, we'll probably be getting in there with a little bit more than that anyway. Plus there's another supercharger just down the street in the event that, you know, something was to happen and be weird and we didn't have the other one of the superchargers working. So we have a backup, we have a bailout, and we'll be fine as long as we take our time. We have to slow down, no big deal, and then we'll just go from there. So now we're just heading back and back on the highway, and hopefully be in Kansas before we know it. Hopefully. Well, it looks like we were a little too hasty with our driving speeds, because I was looking at our arrival percentage into what was it, Topeka, Kansas there, and it was saying that we were going to get there with like 15%, then it was like 12%, then it was like 10%, then I saw it dip to 9, and I was like, uh-oh, and then all of a sudden it was like recalculating, and so now you can see it's stopping us again in Missouri, as opposed to the Topeka, Kansas supercharger.
We just can't get out of Missouri.
We cannot get out of Missouri at all. It is misery. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna do that because that will get us enough of a charge, because I was actually looking to do that before anyway. And that'll give us enough of a charge to get from there, Independence, Missouri, all the way to Salina, which is where we want to stop for the night. And right now it's saying that we'll get to Salina at 11 o'clock at night. So, I mean, as we can see here, Salina at 11:06. I'm hoping to take that down to like just under 11 o'clock. I'm hoping to get into the hotel just under 11. We hit so much traffic, so much construction and traffic. I mean, we were doing so well back there, then all of a sudden it was just dead stop because they closed the lane down. They were just about to start, I guess, road work, repaving, whatever it is. So, like, we just hit that and sat there for 20 minutes. Like, we just keep getting hit by these little detours here. So, unfortunately, we're not going to get to the hotel at a decent time, but we're going to get to a hotel at some time. We'll find out.
It might be dark. You might be wearing sunglasses.
It might be. These are not coming off until we get to a hotel. No, that's not true. But anyway, yeah. So we'll update you as we go, which will probably be in Independence, Missouri, with about 40% battery left. unless I feel like being lucky and just trying to push us to Topeka, which maybe I'll recalculate it when we get close. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. We'll see you in a little bit. Alright, made it here to our stop in Independence, Missouri. Take a look at our efficiency here. We clearly did a little bit more than the speed limit there to try to keep ourselves ahead of the clock here. But 284 watt-hours per mile, doing really good with efficiencies, even over 112 miles. Mostly that was just straight highway with very little traffic. So we're doing good. Let's go get it plugged in and see what we can get here. Honestly couldn't remember if this was a version 2 or version 3, but from the delay that it took to start charging, yep, it sounds like it's a version 2. Yeah, it's a 150 kilowatt max. So it says we're going to be here 25 minutes. So our goal is to get to Salina, right there. And it says we're going to be there at 11 o'clock tonight. So let's just take a look at Salina real quick, because what we're going to probably do is book a hotel in Salina and just stay there. So there is a supercharger there, but we're probably going to book a hotel instead, and then we will determine from there how we want to go about charging, whether or not we're going to charge tonight, or if the hotel has a charger, we'll try to charge at the hotel overnight on a level 2. So we're going to go ahead and see what we could do about that. In the meantime, I got to relax and have a little bit of time in front of me. We're going to need to charge pretty deep, considering we're going to need to do about 180 miles. So yeah, probably at least 70%, maybe even more than that. All right, so walked around the Bass Pro Shop here in Independence, Missouri. Wow, what a Bass Pro Shop that is. A lot nicer than the one we have in Myrtle Beach. So the sun is down. We are at the last charger. I already booked the hotel, which I'll put that in the navigation here instead of the Salina, Kansas supercharger. We will literally be, I think, right next to the supercharger, the hotel. But this hotel is supposed to have 2 chargers. We'll see if those chargers are still open when we get there. So it says we want 5 more minutes remaining to continue our trip, which we will happily oblige, so this way we don't come up short, even though it does say we'll be there with 16%, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and do the last part of this trip and get it over with, because it was a long day today. It was a great day. We had a fun time today, especially going around St. Louis and everything, but it's been a long day. So we're going to get to the hotel, what's it saying, 11:10. So maybe we can knock that down a couple minutes or something, but yeah, so we're going to get on the road here in just a few minutes and get to Salina. I said it right now. Yeah, Salina. Anyway, all right, well, we will catch up with you when we get there. It'll be really dark. unfortunately, we sort of miscalculated a little while ago at the last supercharger. It turns out that the supercharger that the Tesla navigation was pointing to was about 20 miles before our hotel, and I was assuming that it was basing that off of the hotel, with the supercharger next to our hotel, like right next to it, literally in the parking lot. And we started driving thinking that that was where we were navigating to, only to find out, 100 miles into the drive that no, we actually don't have enough energy to get to the actual hotel. And so it wanted us to stop early to top off for about 5 minutes and then move on to the hotel, which immediately added almost about 30 minutes to our trip because of another 20 minutes of driving plus the supercharger time. So now we recalculated it, and it's letting us get to the hotel with 8% state of charge. So going to be low on state of charge, but once again, there's a supercharger literally in the parking lot, or like in the parking lot next to the hotel. So just in case the level 2 chargers are not functioning, we can just run over to the supercharger for 5 or 10 minutes, get the car up to a nice percentage to hold it overnight, and then I can always top it off in the morning when I'm a little bit more awake. So that's where we are right now. Our efficiency is looking actually pretty good. So as long as we keep it right around where it is now, we should be fine to get to the hotel with plenty extra in the tank. So not really any concerns there. And yeah, other than that, road's been pretty clear. Just cruising, doing the speed limits, and looking forward to getting to the hotel in about half an hour. All right, we'll keep you up to date once we get there. Well, made it to the hotel with this warning and 8% left on the clock. And it looks like the hotel got rid of their Clipper Creeks and just have these charge point chargers here. Looks like this is going to be our only option as far as this, and they're like $3 an hour. So unfortunately we have to pay quite a bit for them as well. But oh well, we're going to do it because it's 11:30 at night, so we want to get some sleep. Leaving the car on the charger for the night. Heading up to our room. Glad they ran the irrigation system for us on our way in. Oh, not bad. Maybe we should stay here longer than one night. Huh. Sweet. Homewood sweets. Good morning, Salina. Good morning, viewers. It's another day. Whoa. Well, this car's seen better days. Wow. I think I'll clean the windshield a little bit too. But I know we didn't get too much of a charge last night. It's only 6 kilowatts here, unfortunately. And we are at 66%. So, yeah, we added about 60% battery so far, and we're not leaving yet. So we'll have a little bit, enough to get us to our next destination, and then from there we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, let's take a look at what we need to make this day go faster. Good morning, everybody. Well, It is another lovely day here in Salina, Kansas. And we have some time ahead of us today. Not too much though, only about 6 hours, 6.5 hours maybe. So right now we were able to charge up overnight at the hotel. We were at 70% after pulling in at about, I don't know, was it 6% or something? And so yeah, we're currently like 1,380 on the odometer for this trip. We got about 1,700 total, maybe a little bit more than that considering we drove around a little bit. But looks like our first stop is gonna be here in Hays, Kansas. And that's going to be a version 2 supercharger, which there is also an EA station like across the street from this. Worst case scenario, if we need to, we can always go there. Hays is a pretty small town, so I can't imagine it being too busy, but I think we're going to stop there. And then we gotta probably, I don't know, we might be able to skip, what's this here? So 96 miles, 312, oh wow, that's a long stretch right there. So it looks like Colby is going to possibly be a long charge when we get there. But we will see. 188 to 326, so it's about 140 miles. That's not too bad, actually. And look at this guy rolling up to a drive-through in his wheelchair. It's pretty funny. Anyway, we are going to get on the road here. It's just a little after 8 o'clock. Figured we'd sleep in just a little bit more today than normal. And yeah, kind of relax and take our time today. We'll see you out on the road. So just finished our charge point session here, 8 hours, 39 minutes at $3 an hour, $26 to charge overnight because of ridiculous rates at $3 an hour. Station offline, any applicable discounts will be applied when transaction is posted. Huh, I wonder if they charged me yet then. So as we are heading out of Salina, Kansas, we were just discussing about how a lot of these hotels now, especially the ones we've stayed at recently, the Hilton branded hotels, are all starting to rip out their old level 2 chargers. Like this place had on PlugShare, it was a
something Creek.
Clipper Creek. Yeah, they had some Clipper Creek charging stations. So they ripped out the charging stations and put in these charge points, which now charge you money to charge, and it's like $3 an hour is what it charged me for this, which is ridiculous. That's a lot of money. $1, maybe $2 an hour I sort of see, but $3 an hour, that's quite a premium, especially at 6 kilowatts, because you're getting like barely any charging overnight at 6 kilowatts, and then you're charging by the hour. You know, if you're charging like 11 kilowatts and then it's $3 an hour, I sort of get that. But just one of those things that I hope people don't start taking advantage of EV owners. We literally did it out of convenience because we didn't feel like driving back to the supercharger that was like 3 or 4 miles away.
With a low stated charge.
Yeah, we were already so low, I didn't want to take any chances, so we just kind of just bit the bullet. It was, you know, 11:45 at night. We just figured we would just do it, charge up, and call it a day, and that's what we ended up doing. But
yeah.
Anyway, we had to pay for it, $26, whatever.
Our most expensive one.
It was our most expensive charge. Took all night and didn't even fill us. Anyway, we'll see you on the road. Driving through the open plains of Kansas here on our way to Hays, and we're off to the right here. We see these giant windmills. I can't think of a time that I've ever been like this close to a windmill before. Wow, it is something else. These things are
so big,
huge. I mean, and I know they're like this one's really close to us.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing is just enormous, and I know they're even bigger when you get closer to them, but like it is just amazing. Oh my God,
wow,
look at them all.
How many.
Wow, okay, never mind. This just opened up. We just got to the top of this hill. And wow, look at them all. Way, way, way back there.
Oh wow.
Wow. Amazing.
We
amazing.
see some cattle over there.
We don't, yeah, there's some cows. Yeah, we don't see this stuff by the beach. Nobody has windmills by the beach.
Also, we should get a mini one so then we can produce wind electricity.
Yeah, I'm gonna charge my phone off of it. Anyway, just really cool to see. Anyway, we'll see you. We'll see you at the charger. We are getting to the first stop of the day, only about 10 minutes, 10 miles away, and we are preconditioning for fast charging. Even though it is a version 2, I guess it's still going to precondition a little bit for that. We will have to see how long we got to be there for, but I think it's only about a 100-mile stretch from Hays, Kansas to Colby, Kansas, I believe is the next charger. Yep, indeed it is. And yeah, so we'll be there for a little bit charging up. And yeah, beautiful, beautiful views out here. Let me tell you something. I've never been this far west before, and I've never seen so much awesome stuff. Farmland, huge wind turbines. I know I kept calling them windmills before. That's just an old word that's in my brain from years ago. But wind turbines producing energy. It's great to see that out here. But yeah, look at this. This is just gorgeous how much open space there is. Okay, made it to Hays, Kansas, looking at our trip here, 320 watt-hours per mile. We were doing basically just a speed limit of 75, but pretty much non-stop. And it looks like it's saying that we had some wind that costed us a couple percent, or almost 2%. But yeah, other than that, pretty straightforward trip. Really no slowdowns or anything. So let's go ahead and get this plugged in. Plugged in. Once again, these are version 2, so we're not expecting amazing stuff here, but we are already at 30% state of charge, so really we don't need all that much here. It says about 15 minutes of charge time. We only need, I think, about 100 miles, I think, is all we need here. Let's see if we could back out for a second here, find ourselves on the map, and we need 98 miles to get to the next supercharger, so really not that bad. And of course our rated range is showing us at 93, so technically we probably only need to charge up for maybe 10 minutes and I think we'll be good. But we're gonna walk around for a few minutes here and try to stretch our legs, and some nice Model S's over here on the right. But yeah, here we are maxing out 136, or close to maxing out, but high state of charge, keeping us a little bit lower. But anyway, let's take a look at this beautiful scenery out here. So there have been recent reports that there is a major outage today with Electrify America. So just to show you what we're looking at here, this is where we currently at in Hays, Kansas. There's Electrify America right next to us in the in the Walmart parking lot. If we were to have the Mach-E with us today, we would have to then travel and stop, most likely stop in Colby, which now is currently unavailable with Electrify America. Now theoretically we could have topped it up all the way and possibly made it to this I-70 diner stop, but yeah, that would have been over 200 miles in the standard range Mach-E. I don't think that would have been a very good idea. We would have had to pretty much be completely topped off, and we would have had to probably go really slow to make that trip, because Wow, that's pretty bad. And it's just before Memorial Day. Like, today is Friday.
Yes.
Memorial Day is Monday. This is a busy weekend, and Electrify America has just completely dropped the ball again. They have so many chargers out, and had we brought the Mach-E on this trip, we would have been pretty much SOL at this point. We would have had to either go a different route or try to find another charging station, hopefully somewhere in the middle of Kansas that would have been able to charge up the Mach-E. But anyway, we're ready to go. We actually got something to eat real quick. We are at 77% state of charge. It wants us to stop in Colby, Kansas, as opposed to going all the way to Limon or Lyman or whatever that is. So I think we're just going to do that. We're not really in a rush today, so we'll just stop at Colby. 33% is what it's estimating we'll be there with, so we'll get there with this as little as possible, basically. So let's get in the car and go. Colby, Kansas, got here pretty good. 328 watt-hour per mile. We were just cruising again at 75, going all the way here, 106 miles total. We are looking at pretty decent efficiency. I'm not sure what happened over here, why we had such a big jump, but yeah, that was just how it calculated for some reason. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this plugged in and charging. Ooh, it's actually kind of chilly out. There we are. Okay, I think these are just version 2s here, but that's okay. I'm actually okay with a little slow charging right now because I actually might kick back and relax a little bit. And got a little headache happening, so I might just sit back and relax for a little bit. Okay, sounds good. So we might be overcharging a little bit here.
Just a wee little bit.
Just a wee little bit. Okay. We'll update you in a little bit. Alright, so it looks like we have 142 miles to Lyman, Colorado, which will be our last supercharging spot. We are at 229 miles of rated range. I think we got plenty, even though it tells us to stay for another 5 more minutes. We're going to get going. We got plenty of range in the tank, so I think we should just head on out. Let's go ahead and unplug and get going. looks like we could have left the Charger just a little bit later and been a little bit more comfortable. As you can see, our efficiency line here is not looking so good. We're fighting off a major headwind right now that's causing us to lose quite a bit of efficiency. We're down to 11% arrival. When we initially left the Charger, it was like 20-something%. And you can see from our current drive here, 355 watt hours per mile is pretty high. So we're obviously battling some wind. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to chill behind this U-Haul here, towing a car, and kind of pace with them for a little bit, even if it's a little bit slower. See if we can get this efficiency number up from 12, maybe to like 15. We still got over 100 miles to go, so I definitely don't want to burn it all right now. We'll wait till we build up a little bit more buffer, and then we can start taking off again. Anyway, we're just going to sit here and chill on this nice straight flat road, and we'll see how the rest of the trip goes. Waking up from my slumber behind the wheel, if you zoom in, you could start to see the Rocky Mountains. That is really, really cool. It's like, I thought it was a cloud in the sky, except the color was different. And sure enough, that's the Rocky Mountains. That is so cool. Just passed a sign that said we were at 5,200 feet of elevation. The Rockies are still very far out in the distance. We are still sitting at 70 miles an hour for this trip, just to kind of keep our efficiencies good. We are at 14% arrival percentage, so it went up a couple percent, but that's about where it stayed. It didn't really go up much after that. And we're only about 20 miles away from the Charger. So I think what we're going to do is roll this up to 75, get us to the Charger just slightly quicker at this part. And yeah, maybe we get to the Charger by 1 o'clock, and then we can be at our destination shortly thereafter. Can't believe we're almost there. Oh, and by the way, we're just hit over 1,700 miles now on the trip. So yeah, we're looking at pretty close to 1,800 miles before we get to our destination. All right, here we go. Well, we made it to Lyman, Colorado, or Limon, I'm not sure. The Tesla navigation called it Limon, so 13%. So we had plenty of buffer in there. As you can see, our efficiency went pretty wild there, just due to mostly this wind. 14-mile-per-hour wind from the south cost it 6%. So pretty crazy. We don't really get wind like that where we're from, so. And even after slowing down that much, we still averaged about 319 watt hours per mile. So pretty thirsty still. Yeah, so we're at 1,727 miles for the total trip, and we have roughly, because this is not the exact address, but well, I guess that's it, 71 miles right there to get to their house. So yeah, we got to put the address in though in a short while. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get this charged up. We are at a brand new, it looks like, version 3. So looking for looking for a quick charge here right next to this Arby's, which we'll probably go grab lunch, I guess. Because we have to charge up a little bit anyway, because we got to have some extra in the battery for when we get to their house anyway, because I don't know if they have any place for us to charge. So yeah, 175, 182, 992, looking good. 207, 222, 237. We're gonna get the 250. I can see it. 252. I'm gonna say 252. Ah, call me a liar. All right, 251 it is. We'll take that. And yeah, I can't believe that this trip is almost over. Technically, we only got one way. We still gotta go home eventually.
Yes.
But yeah, so here we are. We're just go get some food, and I'm gonna try to get rid of the rest of this headache, and we'll finish our trip out. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, got about 73 miles. We are at 80% at this supercharging session here. So I think we are good to unplug and get there. No reason to wait any longer at this point. So let's go ahead and pull the plug and get on the road. Alright, total trip, we made it 1,800 miles on the dot. Can't believe that. Wow, so up to 7,200 miles on the car already. That last drive there, 74 miles, 292 watt hours per mile. And we got here with 52% state of charge, so really awesome. Let's wrap this up. Okay, well, we did it. Woo!
We're here.
1,800 miles on the dot. It would be a little less than that normally, but because we drove around a couple times, couple places, that's why we hit 1,800. It's more like 17, I don't know, 60 or something. But anyway, yeah, 1,800 miles on the dot, 2.5-ish days to get here. Yeah, crazy. 289 watt hours per mile average for the entire trip. That is very impressive. So really, really cool to see that. Yeah, fantastic trip. So this was part 2 of the trip coming here. We're obviously going to have more going back. I know these were long videos, long road trips, but this was a lot of fun for us, first time. And yeah, it just goes to show you that, you know, a superior charging network really makes the difference between an easy drive and the not so easy drive. Because as we saw today, if we were in the Mach-E, I forget what town we were in, the next stop, the charger was down at the moment. I heard they got him back online, but yeah, just one of those things that's kind of scary is like being out in the middle of nowhere.
And not being able to.
And like going, I know I could get there, but I don't know if I could charge when I get there. That's just a scary thought. But the Tesla network came through. We didn't need to use our adapter to, you know, charge anywhere else. So it worked out well. And yeah, so awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm not going to say I'm looking forward to the road trip back, because I'm really not, at least not yet. But yeah, we're looking forward to our week here in Colorado. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, watching the videos. We appreciate that. And, you know, we'll see you on the next road trip, which is just us going back across the country again. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to watch or follow us on all our social medias and stuff down in the description. I'll put all the links down there for our Twitter, our Instagram. Everything will be down there. You can follow us on our road trips when we do this. Sometimes we throw in some, you know, sneak peeks on stuff depending on what it is. But thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode. And remember, welcome to the future.
And welcome to Tech Motoring.
There we are. We are tired. We're gonna get some sleep. Have a good one.